down payment on a really fucking nice place and a good down payment on a construction loan. I don't think you should build your own house. I think you should buy an existing house that has existing plumbing and existing septic and existing well. I'm not a big fan of. Have you seen land prices? Just buy a house. Just buy a house. Look, modern day sister fucking contractors of America don't do much of a better. You're taking a $5,500 pay cut, but happiness is more important to me. Good for you, Sophie. I do hope you'll be all right. Job either. But if you looked at all the labor you spend getting permission to keep 60% of your income and then be fired at any moment in time, because Ahmed offered it overseas at 20%, it's a complete waste. It's a complete waste. I already said white collar work is dead. Oh my God, they hired a Nepo baby, put her in charge of Xbox. Let them have it. Oh my God, Goldman Sachs committed to head DEI hires the entire time. Let them have it. You guys work. You guys pay the taxes. You commute. You do the KPI reports. You do not have the time to go and get qualified to get your fucking permission slip to go search for a job. It's absurd. It's insulting. I would say it's a violation of your human rights at this stage. Go to school until you're a quarter century old. Be in debt. No, we're not going to pay you a living wage. Yeah. And by the way, your job could go away at any time. Fuck you. That's always been the case. That's always been the case. But at least in times past, you had the chance of maybe getting laid by a drunk, cute account girl at the work happy hour Christmas party. Like, it happened back in the day. It used to happen. Now it doesn't happen. Those young boys, I don't know, they're 16, 17. Look like they could drive. I'm like, if they just skip college, they drop out of high school right now, and they just start working. You can get an associate's degree during high school. Almost I did a story on it today. I actually did. I did a story on it today. Every state in the union now offers a post-secondary enrollment option. If your grades are good enough, you can get basically as many credit hours as you want between junior and senior year of high school, and you can graduate with an associate's degree in business and then roll that into a 2-year bachelor's program at like Ohio State or something. I'm not kidding. Like, they're doing it. It's fucking great. And the post-secondary enrollment option is free if your grades are high enough. The state pays for it. I pay for it. Whatever it is. Landscaping or mechanics, whatever, some kind of training. They work for this. You're related to this guy? Go check out. Yeah, go watch Aaron. You guys don't know about Aaron? Sophie, you'd love Aaron. He's when he talks about business, he's on point. He sells. They're going to save so much time, not only on the upfront, but for the entire rest of their life, because they're never going to search for labor. Never. Right? I can just go check. Now I got to work. I got to write a book, but if I wanted to make more money, I have plenty more book ideas. And thankfully, I'm very blessed having a large enough audience that if I were to write a book that would generate a couple tens of thousands of dollars. What? Okay. I got tens of thousands of dollars? I don't need permission, right? Heck, that was back in the day. See, now he's gonna write another book despite me because I had that reaction. You watch, he'll write a book. This is despite, and the dedication. He'll say, "This is despite Ray." When I was trying to write my book, just so you know, I'm way better of an economist than you think. Behind the holiday crash, dude, I could use, dude. I'm telling you. I have $20,000 in the bank basically right now. I owe 72 on the house. I could get it down to 50 immediately. I could probably, if I really hustled on YouTube, slam 2,500, 3,000, 3,600 maybe a month on the house. Plus write a book and get like 10,000. Oh man. You could pay off $50,000 and So much money. It's so much money. You know what's sad? I think one of the reasons that I struggle is my dreams are not big enough. And it's like, I just want quiet. I just want I just want quiet. Think about tens of thousands of dollars for a book. It's like, I could sell my truck. Carvana said they'd buy it for $26,000. I'm gonna find a vehicle, buy a $3,000 beater, put 20, and then 23, put 43 down on 72. What does that turn the house into? They almost wouldn't write the mortgage. So what is that? 23,000 minus 20. That's still $30,000. But 29,000 divided by 3,600, 8 months. I can have it done by the end of the year. This is there is so much money to be made if you can get past your self-doubt and just do it. And I don't know. I guess that the ego thing with the women treating me the way they've treated me, rejection takes the piss out of you, man. I haven't even tried to find a job. And then there's a part of me that knows it's like, okay, I could try to write a book, and I could try to do a course, and I could try to merch up, and I could really try to attack this, and then I just don't. I don't know how to make money. I said it in that video today. I don't know how to make money. So if you could make over $10,000 writing a book, just one book, and then 10, 20,000, and you repeat that every year, it's like, it's a confidence gumption thing. And there's just something in me, I don't know, stopping me. Writer's block. I got nothing to say. There is a lot of money to be made if you're willing to go out and do it. And a lot of people, they hear that, and this ethereal dictum, this ethereal order, like, oh, just go out and make money up. It's like, no, that's actually what people do. It's what those guys do that I was telling you about that had the Ford mini transit van thing. Those square little vans. What is that called? Little Ford work van. These little things. They had one of these things, and it had freaking pressure washer and a generator in the back of it and a bunch of hoses, and they were freaking, oh, that one looks like the Ghetto Rider right there. Look at it. Oh, buddy. What happened to that front grill? God damn, that's like is that Gabby Petito's? It's got the bike racks on top of it. Damn, that's the murder van, ain't it? Look, there's the blood stains. 3,500, Fairfield, Ohio. Get yourself a little murder van, what's a little blood stain to clean up, and put a pressure washer in the back of it. Put a Cahill. Good luck, Cahill. What's Cahill saying? Job interview tomorrow. Good. Number one thing in a job interview you got to remember is that the hiring manager is as nervous about trying to find somebody to fill the job as you are trying to find a job. And your job in that job interview is not to extol your qualifications and all this other shit. It's, how am I going to make your life easier? You're not interviewing for the job. You're selling the hiring manager on you making their life easier, not harder. Do you have any questions for me? Yeah, I do. Thinking, back on your day-to-day at this job, if you could change one thing.
Homes.com's neighborhood pages give you a complete picture of the neighborhood before you even visit. Just tap the neighborhood button. Then on the neighborhood you want to explore, we've curated comprehensive guides with professional videos, images, and write-ups. Explore the schools, parks, demographics, and more. Plus, you'll even find expert agents in the area. Find your dream neighborhood on Homes.com.
Blow-off answer to that question, they're not interested in you. If they reveal something about the job that they hadn't yet, or they reference something they've talked about earlier, it's a great final interview question because they always hit you with the, do you have any questions for me? First of all, what that does for you is it postures you in an willing, thinking outside of the box, eager participant in whatever thing they're thinking about putting you into. So when I ask you, do you have any questions for me? And you say, well, actually I do. What's, one thing about your day-to-day operations here that you specifically touched that you would like to see changed for the better? What's one thing, if you had unlimited budget, unlimited everything, you could change immediately? What would it be? It not only puts you in a position of advising authority, it also puts the interviewer on the defensive. Oh shit, this guy knows what he's talking about. He gives a shit about me. It's kind of an ego stroke too. It's kind of I recognize that you work really hard and you deserve to have somebody ask you how you're doing. And I'm not here to just put my hand out and take from you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just show up to get the paycheck. I'm here to make your life easier. That's how you land a job. You interview the person. You're not interviewing for the job. If with the way the ATS systems are and the AI systems and everything, if they've actually called you and scheduled you for an interview, they already know you have the technical know-how, the experience, whatever requirements that are already in place to be met to functionally do the job. They are trying to validate whether or not you're not going to make their life more of a hell than the person that you're replacing. Even better, if you can figure out how to get out of them, is this a new job rec? Right? So like a new job rec is, did they make this position? Are they interviewing for a new position in the company, or are they interviewing for a position that someone replaced? Even better, if the best situation is if the hiring manager is interviewing you for their old job. You know what I mean? Thank you, Julie. 350 super chat. I do appreciate that. So there's something to think about. I've interviewed for a lot of jobs. Probably, to be honest with you, there's a 50-50 split in my history of the jobs I've actually been able to sit down for an interview and the jobs that I've gotten. I've had about a 50% success rate. Now, I have worked over the course of my corporate career, I have worked in, okay, so I'm going to count the internships because I did technically interview for those. So 2, 3, at least 5 before I came back to Ohio, and then Chase, Nationwide, and Kroger. So 3. I probably had actually like 16 to 20 actual interviews for corporate style positions, probably 16 over, not even that high, honestly, probably closer to like 12. But I had landed 5 plus 4 is what, 8, 9. One of those jobs didn't work out. It was like a month-long thing. It was the wrong fit. They thought they were hiring for a Java developer, and I didn't realize they didn't realize what they needed. I didn't realize what they wanted. It was a complete disaster. 2 months. January, February, and I got fired like the third day of March. I got fired 2 weeks after I bought a brand new Dodge Challenger. You guys ever feel stupid? You guys ever feel insignificant? You ever feel small? Just, oh yeah, if it's an office job, take notes. There is something weird about the high school never ended. You know, what's the goody two shoes schoolgirl, like, teacher, you forgot to give us homework on the second to last day of school. That's a thing in corporate America. If you want a job in a corporate office, taking notes during the interview puts you like a single corporate enterprise level job I've ever worked at. There was only 1 or 2 dudes. And it was funny because they were always like middle-aged and bald, and they were always middle management. And the kind of guys that like the account girls were afraid of, not in a sexual way, but like, oh, you gotta get our best behavior around him. These were the guys that literally, I knew a guy at Chase. If you talked to him in the break room, he sent you a follow-up email. He documented everything. Everything. You had a meeting with him, you got at least a 2-page Word document emailed to you afterwards with a summary of what you talked about that he typed up himself. This was in 2017. That man was like, oh, he had to have been making 150 minimum. He was, I don't remember what his name was, but like, he was a really nice guy. And he understood, but he was a killer. You could just tell. He had, if he was on your side, he had your back. Let's just put it that way. He covered my ass on a few things where like a send went out incorrectly and like the email team was in the doghouse with the business and like upwards of Jamie Dimon in the business. And it was like, he covered our ass a few times. Because he came in and he would swoop in and be like, hey, I have documentation from this meeting where you said.
Hey, I'm good. Well, the reason, oh my God, I'm sorry, I just can just like hear myself. He asked you that because he knows you're both in a very stable position. He doesn't really want to mess anything up. That's why he asked in such a weird way. But now that you answered, he does feel more sure about it. So I would expect him to ask you near the end of summer, it looks like. Mm, he will field the offer to you, kind of like he did with this. If it sounds like you'll go for it, then yes, y'all would end up moving in before the end of summer. Oh, you're welcome. Oh my god. Who are
Traditionally
you?
published. It would have been published 6 months before, but I wasted all my time trying to get Simon and Dick Fuck and Penguin Quantaholickers
Yes,
and all you other
you.
New York Nepo Baby cronyistic fucks. Thankfully, they're now kind of all going out of business and consolidating. Oh, yeah, too bad. Maybe you could give your cousin another book deal. I wasted all my time.
Remedio,
Sending
nice
out
to
manuscripts,
wet you.
New
What?
York pussies.
Sorry for the typhoon. Hey, are you trolling me? Am I getting pranked right now? Oh, you're sorry, huh? If you're real sorry, he'll send me 3 credits, and then I'll accept it.
But for the most part, YouTube lets
Hey, what brings you here this fine evening?
And yes, a lot of dead internet, but for the most part, you get views and you get viewers if you have something compelling to say, even if it's controversial. And that's the thing with self-publishing. You know, Amazon KDP or whatever it's called, on demand. Same thing with merch on demand or art on demand, print work on demand. It is so difficult. So difficult.
You got nice soulful voice and energy.
Good idea in front of a bunch of people. It was paywalled. Basically, you get effort by the publishing industry.
Well,
And now
thank
with the
you.
internet and print on demand, you can literally sell one copy at a time, and they print it at the facility and it ships to you. That's how it works. There's no like warehousing books. There's
But
no
yeah,
holding
what
them.
brings
There's no
you to this
distribution.
website?
There's no, you know, it's the old print model is done. And then you
Let me
have,
take my socks
like
off.
saying, you have a good subscriber base, you have a good audience base. You know, my monthly
Looking for
audience is
answers.
40,000.
Answers about what?
I bet you I could get
Never seen me before. Oh, yeah, I've only been here since like winter. Well, I had an account for a long time, but I didn't start until winter because I was kind of a vagrant for a few years.
Serves a purpose in my life because it gives me something consistently to show up to do every day. And
From the States, I can tell by your accent.
keeps it
What
all
accent?
consistent thing.
Everyone tells me I don't have an
Blocks of time,
accent
otherwise, you know,
because I travel to the States
maybe sometimes
quite
also
often.
living environment.
Were you like a billionaire? You some kind of Bitcoin trader?
Yeah, those questions are purposely ambiguous.
never have success with the answer to that question in an interview unless you have a.
Oh, you stopped since COVID.
Comment that the interviewer did prior to. And I know that there's like corporate jargon, LinkedIn approved sort of speech that you can memorize, kind of like chess. But what fun is it to play chess with somebody that knows code?
What is Friday?
You know, poker is pretty much
Oh my god.
saying that poker is a solved game. The guys that do it at the professional level, it's like
Love states though, especially San Fran, New York, and DC. Been to more places than me in my own country.
will let you win. Keep coming back. You know, humble you every once in a while, but they'll let you win a good pool player and a bar.
What answers are you looking for? Oh, you got cut off from Hawaii.
Thank you very much for £4.99. People subscribe to a YouTube channel for the personality. I think more than the content, the creator could approach any topic with a solid audience. I've actually been
Answer for housing. What about it?
reception with talking about like the ancient genealogy history stuff, migration patterns of like Neanderthal language,
Housing issue. What's going on?
Pretty much talking about anything. I think the key is getting myself hyped up for it. I have to be interested in the subject matter, and there's times where you can just tell I'm not interested in talking about that thing. And the trick is to fake it. You do kind of have to fake it sometimes, because like last night, State of the Union.
Eviction notice. Now we apply for what?
Not want to watch the State of the Union. Oh my god.
Hey, that sounds like a sharp
Can we just not Trump?
turn from visiting countries and partying to this. I mean, unless you live in like you probably have a mansion or something. Because we refuse the mold, damp, and condensation property from the city council. Mold, damp, condensate. I'd take that house. I'd love that house. I could. Okay, never mind. I'm focused. Yes. Eviction. Really? Yeah. I love living in the muck. But that's probably why they call me a witch. But I'm getting sidetracked. I can never say that word. Sinuses, PTSD, and height. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, especially with the mold. Okay, so they're trying to evict you. So what is your plan right now?
One right down the road from me. Got a bunch of big electrical transformers on the side of it. Never any trucks at it. Amazon distribution center right next to it that has trucks at it all the time. The other Amazon building, nobody's ever there. Think about it. We are LOL. I'm not that
I have an appointment with a lawyer on the 2nd of March to file a defense. Excellent.
So the way the data center model works is private equity funds the shell. So the shell, the building itself, is owned by basically layered mutual investment products, like the same things, MBSs, the same thing with the mortgage-backed securities. It's the same kind of private equity, private lending market product. They're all
Hopefully, she stops the city council going forward and offers permanent housing.
owned by Amazon. They're not actually owned by Microsoft. They're not actually owned by Google. They're leased. The money is in the structure and then buying the chips. So if you have the certification or whatever that allows you to be the expert, the guy, I'm the guy that they need.
Pictures I took clearly shows mold, damp, condensation, rusty, ugh, okay, that's kind of gross, rusty kitchen cabinets. Okay, I gotta have the kitchen clean. But they say it's a suitable property.
As soon as the profit really dries up with the leases on these data centers, these private equity firms are going to go belly up, just like Joann Fabrics, just like Hobby Lobby, just like all the other leverage buyout stuff. Because they're selling these leases like package leverage. Like, you know how mortgage-backed securities work? Remember The Big Short? It's that concept. It's actually a giant house of cards. So, and Meta just froze all
The same city council took us out from the similar condition property. Okay, that's a good sign.
stopped all forward financial progress. And I don't think Microsoft is making any money with Copilot. The headline I saw was that no one is using it.
No, it's not a good sign. Oh, because you think they're going to just put you somewhere else similar. I mean, but on the other hand, it shows that at least they've shown that they're willing to relocate you. We just need to negotiate them to put you somewhere that's actually appropriate.
Something like specific that I knew the answer to, like about taxes, about real estate, and about interest. It was wrong, and like not just wrong, like confidently wrong, like being aggressive to me in its responses when I was telling it that it was wrong. You know, so I think these companies are not as. I really think these companies have their legs are shakier than your
If they're going to put us similar property, then it doesn't make sense. They should have left us in the same. Yes, I'm not familiar with city. I feel like I understand a bit of what city council is like wherever you are. But yeah, a lot of the stuff they do is very redundant and very repetitive. Like it takes multiple tries to like get the right fit for anything.
Like that job's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like if it all came falling apart, like what if you just like almost go into your own personal witness profession, where it's like you go and work just some mechanical job somewhere, or you go just like your own personal witness protection. There is something to that. You know, the YouTube thing completely crashed. I don't think it will. I've been trying to.
Yes, and the counselor who is in charge of housing said they should have not offered us that property. Yes, this is kind of what I'm getting at. Because when you're dealing with an institution like that, there's a lot of different people who aren't really communicating with each other. So it takes a lot of repetition to get everyone on the same page.
If I can figure out a way to, I'm thinking of ending things, the Kaufman film. Yeah, that's a good one. You know that film, the narrative of that film. I only watched it once.
But he is challenging them as well, but they stick with their decision. That's why they went ahead and filed for position order.
like sushi at 2 o'clock or like a steak and then I burn that or I eat like ravioli. I was not eating basically. But I remember watching them thinking of ending things. And what you realize when you're watching that is that narrative is not about that couple.
I really hope that my lawyer stops that from going forward and resolve this issue for good.
It's a beautifully shot film too.
I think they're gonna do good this time around. I think the right people just need to talk to each other, connected to the city council stuff, and I think they're gonna put you in the best place this next go around.
You know what I mean? Like you expand into it as you watch Schenectady, New York. Phenomenal film. I watched that for the first time the same night I watched Happiness. So put that in your head. That movie's fuck. But the end where he's off the balcony and it lands on the girl, it's like I can't believe they
Yes, but why making everybody's life difficult? It's just the side effect of bureaucracy. That's the word that I forgot about. Right, I'm saying you made a mistake. That's fine. Sort it out and fix it.
I'm thinking of ending things. The narrative that it presents to the audience is this couple that's either freshly married or they're engaged almost to be married, and they are going to like his parents' house, and she's thinking of ending things. The thing you don't realize
They don't want to admit their faults. Yeah, it's kind of by design. It's kind of by design that no one is ever really specifically at fault.
Was that the one who did Schenectady, New York? Can you just let me know? Start a feud with DSP. I tried, and then I got all of his guys came in, came in and attacked me. The narrative is beautiful because it's a framed story that didn't actually happen. So the movie opens when you see the old man getting ready for his.
They know they're all this, so they're making it difficult for me. Thinking I will get, yes, that's another reason they make it purposely long and grindy.
Looking out the window and he sees, like a forlorn man does. He looks out his window at life passing by, and he sees.
I will wait till I get it as I'm in the right. Yes.
Going to the parents' house. So what you don't realize is that movie didn't happen. Everything in that narrative is actually in the old man's head. The couple driving by that he sees.
If I was wrong, then I would say, I'm sorry, and move on.
You have no idea what actually happened with that couple. What happens with that narrative all happens in the guy's head while he's driving to the school in the snow to basically kill himself.
If only it was that simple in this world.
It's like that 9 Inch Nails song where Trent Reznor goes, and all that could have
Every mistake they make, they cover it and try to blame it on me.
Great record from 1998.
You're giving me flashbacks.
The fragile follow-up was still, and all it could have been. It was the orchestral live LP. And it's got drums and stuff. It's just so good. It's so good. It's such a good record.
You in the same situation? Not with housing, but just stuff from the past. Like bosses, management, stuff like that.
And like physically, the sets are shifting and moving, and like the depth of scale and stuff. And like people, the literal actors change halfway through it. It's a fever dream. In the last moments before hypothermia sets in, because he went, turned up his truck, let the snow fall all over it, and froze to death in the cab. So that scene at the end, I heard the scene at the end where he's walking through the school.
I think everybody goes through the same cycle, but different format. Yes.
2020, thank you. I heard the scene at the end was asked for by the production company because it was too sad to just have it be he's dead and the whole thing was in his head. And the original film had it more overtly written that it was all in his head, but it's very subtle Because they kind of leave.
Anyways, I'm heading to bed now. It's almost 3 a.m. Yeah, you should get your sleep. It was nice meeting you too, Remedio.
So like this scene at the end, like this. Oh, it's got the guy from Breaking Bad, not Breaking Bad, but yeah, Breaking Bad. Todd. That's who plays. Like yeah, and then it's got the manic fix.
I'm sure we'll meet again.
Jesus. Yeah, it's
What should you call me? You can just call me Chanela.
Images and not. Yeah, here we go. She's literally the manic pixie dream girl trope. Like every millennial male's dream girl looks like this. And I know you guys hate it when I talk about this, but literally.
Shane, how about that?
Of my type of woman. And,
Shanae.
it's not about this.
Shani.
And then these.
Shani.
Todd from Breaking Bad. Like this scene didn't have. It's a really surreal.
Shani.
And then when you look at it through the lens of this is the guy's final fever dream about the life that he wished.
I might have to. I might have to use that for some undercover stuff as an alias. Which already, this is already an alias. So it's an alias for my alias. Shani.
And it's heavy hitting. It's actually more impactful. It's more impactful than Schenectady, New York. Schenectady, New York is a very long plot. 3.5.
So you're a witch?
That doesn't have this. Like, I'm thinking of ending things as very. It's got a quick cadence.
It's not something I would like.
You know.
Tell people. I mean, I feel like if I was, I wouldn't tell anyone. But people have called me that. I thought you said that earlier. I don't remember that. I think you just misheard. It's because you need sleep. What exactly are you? I don't think anyone's asked that before on here. I just do fortune telling.
It's one hell of a movie. It's not about what you think it's about. It's way sadder than you realize. Like it's literally it's a surrealist fever dream, and there's just I forgot about that scene. It's really
How much money will I win this year?
You realize there's certain scenes that are so obviously from the old man's like life. So like
I think you should go to bed.
Fountain girls at the banana split store. Like that's not a modern thing. That doesn't exist in modern times. There are certain tropes and certain things that like the whole thing becomes to unravel.
Good night.
It's a very good movie. Okay, I am not going to spoil it anymore. Oh man. My coat with those thoughts.
I'll be here.
Would have been worse today if things weren't the day I wanted. Okay, so we have a 50-50 split on the poll. Jesse Plemons, yeah, he's actually a good actor. I like him. I like Jesse Plemons, and he's not like that leading man perfect. He's very good. Okay, so should I get text to speech? 50-50 split with 170 votes. Well, I'm not going to do it. I think you have to pay for it, too. I think you actually have to pay for it. So this is what happened. We've been streaming for 3 hours and 10 minutes on this stream, and we did 47 minutes on the other. That's 4 hours. It took me 4 hours to get to a subject. This is how long-winded I am. It took me 4 hours, and hopefully I still have your attention. And I would like to think I'm somewhat captivated, but it took us 4 hours to get to a point where I was talking about something I was actually interested in. Yeah, it's a good movie. I really did. Oh, it's got that chick in it. Yeah, it's something else. The trailers do not do it justice at all. trailers absolutely do not do it justice. And it's emotional. Yeah, there's the scene where he sees her in the small town.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if you and your boyfriend will have better jobs and start a family and get married when you move. You also want to know the number of kids and when you'll get married and what jobs. Going by your cards, the moon being in, oh my god, it's too many questions. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know what are Kevin's thoughts about Nicole. Going by the cards, the Fool being in reverse shows that while he sees Nicole as being carefree and fun to be around, he does seem to think that she could tone it down because it does seem to cause problems, or at least problems perceived by him. The Strength card shows that he does find that despite whatever drawback she has, she's still a very strong person emotionally. And she's able to persevere through situations in a way that he really admires. Secondly, he also does find her very attractive. The moon being in reverse shows that there is a bit of hesitation on his side when it comes to connecting to her more deeply, but he is curious. He does seem to be thinking about the what ifs of if he were to get any closer to her in a relationship sense. If you want further information about what the future holds between Kevin and Nicole, as well as their compatibility, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know will you both get back together? Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know will you get back together? Going by your cards, the High Priestess being reversed shows that there is a lack of communication between the two of you, and it doesn't seem like either of you really understand the other person's viewpoint or their life experiences and how that affects how they behave when it comes to other people. The Devil being upright shows that one person, or in this case, both parties, do seem to be relatively selfish and self centered when it comes to relationships. I would advocate maybe trying to worry less about what each individual gets out of the arrangement and more about the other person's needs. The Six of Wands represents that both of you are still able to have good times together and indicates that despite all of your difficulties, both of you do enjoy being around each other. It's just hashing out the details that seems difficult. So going by this, and especially with the final card being the Six of Wands and positive, I would say that this does indicate that both of you will get back together, though I would say that both of you do need to work on the quality of the relationship to prevent any further breakups. If you want further information about both of your compatibility as well as what the future holds between the two of you beyond reconnecting, you can give me a call or send me a message.
He's throwing these massive contractor-sized bags of trash in the freaking thing. All these pithy sayings coming out of his mouth because I pulled up next to him to empty my trash out. Like, you ain't living, you're dying, or you're not dying, you're living, or something like that. Oh, I've never met somebody that I can't even. I wish I could have. I should have thought to like take my phone out and like have a quick interview with him. I should have. If I ever see that guy again, I'm gonna be like, hey, do you want to do a quick impromptu little interview with me? Because he had just these sayings, and he was just like, you could tell he rehearsed them for 60 years. Seemed like an old civics teacher or something. You know what I mean? James Brannick, thank you so much for the £4.99. These are the subtle things that men really want and need. Someone to give them a little love once in a while. Exactly. And it doesn't mean sex. That's not what it means. It's that human, like treating me like I'm a damn human, not some automaton drone to push around. Not some integer in a spreadsheet that's just meant to, you know, if I just hit the algorithm harder, he can produce more GDP. It's that human connection. But he had these sayings that were like just these like grandpa level dad jokes. Like there's dad jokes and then there's like wordplay grandpa level. Never thought this thing being a joke, but then he lands it instantly. It's just like those motivational style jokes from like the 50s that you would just like, who talks like this? It was wild. And the dude was slinging these like massive trash bags, and he's like, I'm 97 and I've been to every 50 state and I'm back here. I remember when Troy was up, jump. Like I was in awe. I was mesmerized. My dad will probably remember. He probably talked to the guy. He probably knows exactly who I'm talking about. Man. It just he came off like a high school like civics teacher. Somebody that had like the history teacher or something. Somebody that like you loved his like really engaged way of speaking. Canned and cliche, but it still matters that year. It's I don't know. If I can live, I would like to hope and think that maybe, especially the people who stick around the longest with me on these live streams. We got 253 in the chat right now, 141 likes on the stream. If you could possibly like the stream, thank you. I would like to think that there's part of me that comes off as that kind of like, as soon as you say wizened old man, like as soon as you aspirationally say the thing, you're not the thing. You can only ever just be the thing. You can never say, I want to aspire to be the thing. You can never aspire to be a respected thing. You are just respected. I'm doing my part. Thank you, Dan. Now you miss your teachers. Jokes for finding my favorite clients. Brutal, man. Great video find, by the way. Thank you. Who said this? Forza Italia. Thank you for the video suggestion. Great video find. I am going to go get some water and tinkle, and I'll be right back. And we will we'll hang out for a little bit longer. I'm not going to go till midnight tonight, but we'll hang out for a little bit longer now that it seems like YouTube's broken chats are fixed. I will be right back. Thank you for being here. Please like the stream. I will be right back. Word from our sponsors, exactly. Shopsmith, not a sponsor, but I'll take it if they're interested. For the record, I get 250 people in my chat every night, and if they would be interested in partnership, I'd show their stuff all the time. You know, the way that just went with talking about that movie, talking about art, really. My favorite moments in these streams, and when I find them to be the most gratifying, is when I haven't thought about that movie 6 years, 2020. I've not thought about that movie in 6 years. I watched it drunk, obviously. And I remember watching an analysis of it right after, because that's one thing I usually do is I'll watch somebody's analysis of a movie pretty much right after I watch it. And I don't remember whose analysis. It was a YouTuber, but I haven't seen that movie in 6 years. I haven't seen Schenectady, New York since probably 2012. I haven't seen Happiness since I think I've watched it once. That movie is fucked up. All three of those movies came percolating back into my consciousness because of the way the chat went this evening. And my favorite moments of these streams almost always come down to you. What you guys bring up. And the memories that I had forgotten. The things I forgot I knew. The things I forgot I did. There's so many times that I wish that I could even begin to go back through and like, pick out key clips. Like that talking about that movie was probably a good standalone video. And there's been so many good diatribes and standalone videos that I wish I had I have the time. I think it would be. I am super happy when I have a stream where something like that happens. I am. It's way more gratifying than you think it is. So, thank you for that. Nivorin, a very generous $4.99. Still beautiful. There's still some beauty in this world that's big for them. Every moment is a miracle, really. And I do forget that every day above ground, there's a blessing. I do.
So I made a video, and that's what I look like. So this is how I said it. I said, I don't know about you, but I've been craving my chocolate chip cookies. And after my first bite, I can't help but want to share it with you. I'm doing a special promo for 24 hours only. You're going to get 24 cookies for $24. That's right, 24 cookies for $24. You have 24 hours to complete. DM to order. Offer ends tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Insurmountable
That's what I
the insurmountable insecurities of internet.
I'm going to post it tonight.
The
Let me know if you can pick up on any energy. Mike's gonna see it tomorrow. Because you know he loves my chocolate chip cookies, and like $24, that's $1 a cookie. Like I hope to God he ends up seeing it. Let me know if I should post it or if he's gonna like view it and anything.
Based on what I look like, what are my politics? Whatever politics. Why are you sending me Rich Cooper's tweets? What the fuck? Whatever, dude. Whatever. Ray Spitting Bars, thank you. Nice alliteration. Is this the new book title? Well, I have a book, 12 years and $1 million. And I thought about writing kind of a memoir of my drinking days. Although there's a part of me that wonders if that's even worth it, because it's too painful to think back on. Something along the lines of 12 years and $1 million, because it was 12 years drinking, and I can firmly, solidly say that it cost me $1 million in not only just raw costs, but tangential costs, like where I lived, my habits, and lost in investments, possible investments, just the retirement returns alone, because I wasn't doing any retirement savings. James Brannick, thank you so much for being here. Got a dip, man. Getting late here. You take care. Thank you, James. £4.99 pounds. £4.99 pounds. £4.99. Good morning to you. Thank you, James. One of our biggest supporters. And thank you, Drew, for your constant support. I do appreciate you, brother. Thank you, everybody. Niv Oram, Andrew Walsh, Julie, Schizo Garcia, Forza Italia, Shadow 6, he's a big one. Kilowatts, yeah, Gossip Mime, thank you guys. And Zach Tandy Mitchell, Ack, Notice Me Senpai, Dan, Buzz Bray, yeah, King, everybody. Nas, Zach, Tommy Jones, thank you. Never, not enough. It's never too much. I'm just fucking grateful that I get to sit here for 4 hours and tease out some kind of, I mean, what other time in my life, like, think about this. What other time in my life would I sit and be able to have a conversation with a girl or another guy about movies or something? Like where are you going to find anybody to talk about movies with? And then you talk about, I'm thinking of ending things, the movie, and then you get to, with a audience of 250 people, get to tell the trivia bit that you have, that the story isn't really about the story, but the story is about the old man's longing for a life he never had. Like, you don't get to have those conversations with normal people. Like, you don't get to have those deep, meaningful, thoughtful conversations with the regular folks. And then when you're like a bar hop, or you're like, you don't get to have those conversations at work. Nobody cares. Try. Is that?
Yeah, we're the #1 derm recommended body moisturizer brand. It's legit. This stuff actually works.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if there's a future with the person that you're with. Going by your cards, the moon being in reverse does show that currently neither of you are really at the fullest point of your relationship with each other. As in, hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you want to know if there's a future with the person that you're with. Going by your cards, the moon being in reversed is simply saying that the relationship between the two of you hasn't reached its ultimate state yet, which is very normal. It just shows that there's still work to be done. Neither of you really fully understand one another quite yet, but there is room to improve, and it seems very positive so far. 10 of Pentacles being in reversed shows that there is likely going to be a marriage with kids, but it's also hearkening to the pre-established fact that you both still need to work on some things between the two of you. 8 of Swords being the primary last card shows that one of you in particular does feel very closed off mentally with the other person. So it seems like this will be the root cause of what's causing the lack of full understanding between the two of you. So I would advocate for more activities with each other, or finding time to just have a quiet talk with one another to try and build up that bond and lower these mental guards. If you want further information regarding your compatibility, as well as what the future holds between the two of you, so you can best plan on how to navigate any other future problems, you can give me a call or send me a message.
TikTok that gained pretty substantial traction in the tides of this drama. Celeste talks about the audacious aid incident, bad sportsmanship, and the conditions of the craftsmanship cosplay contest, specifically mentioning that contestants were held for an hour without a place to sit or access to water. Craftsmanship cosplay contests are entered by people that made their own cosplay. They get judged by a panel of talented judges who examine their craftsmanship before the stage show, hence the name. Craftsmanship contest. Typically, anyone can enter as long as you have a badge for the convention and have made some varying percentage of the cosplay. And while some cons will offer accepted competitors a comp badge, most offer nothing unless you win. But because the cosplays are handmade, there is no limit to what ridiculous conditions a cosplayer will put themselves through for that competition. If you're new to making things, you might make something unbearably uncomfortable. And because contestants have to be at that scheduled appointment for pre-judging and be present for the stage show, it means people can be in these uncomfortable or even painful costumes all day long. So an hour without a place to sit and no water might seem like a mountain out of a molehill. You have to take it in combination with what these competitors are putting up with to provide this presentation or performance to the con for free. Though I was personally not surprised at all about the hour without seats or water, because it's incredibly common to see in cosplay contests. It doesn't make it right. It just shouldn't be surprised, especially from a corporate con. I received an account from a cosplayer who competed at Comic-Con 2023, another chain convention with a similarly terrible experience. I finished my last pose and headed to the exit stair. There was a small group of people being held to the right. I was told to make a left by staff, and suddenly I put the pieces together. They were pulling winners as we were getting off stage. This means I had to walk past the extremely long line of contestants still waiting to go on while they consoled me, clicked their tongues, and murmured that they might have a chance. Absolute walk of shame. The only thing that made it worse was that the exit door led to the general convention hall. I joke about it now sometimes, but it genuinely felt like I was being kicked out of the competition after not placing. I tried my best to hold in the tears of being a sport about it. It was really difficult when people came crashing through the hallway doors, absolutely sobbing. Such a humiliating experience with absolutely no respect from the staff. Holly Nursery with its green room for contestants, staggered judging process through the weekend, and a staff that's actually nice to you is a huge outlier. Though last year, Hallmat faced its own drought because the theater it took place in had weird rules about liquids backstage. So they moved it out of the theater the next year. They saw that something wasn't right for the competitors, and they changed it. It's almost like the problems that happen every year at Hallmat are not within the control of the cosplay department. But that's just my speculation. It's not just that Hallmat's contest is a generally smooth experience. It's also always been fair because they choose really good judges, but not all cons do. Back in June of 2025, Tampa Bay Comic-Con was lit ablaze with criticism over their choice of judges. Well, really, the story starts a year prior in 2024 when that roster of judges was announced. The general consensus was that one of the chosen judges was a great armor builder and therefore a great choice. The other two judges, though, their qualifications were questioned. A lot of the heat was put on the Shaggy Sabersmith being chosen as a judge. Shaggy is a TikToker known for cosplaying as variants of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. But if he was a Jedi, and if his lightsaber was floppy, the Sailor Moon lightsaber is really cool. This is really fun and it makes me happy. I know I'm kind of clowning on this dude, but keep doing what you're doing. This is fun. He does make lightsabers though, okay? He's also a black belt and a civil engineer. He'd be a great judge for a lightsaber building contest that leads into a taekwondo fight on a bridge, but the team was still missing a sewist. Especially when they had another armor builder already, Shaggy's inclusion felt a little redundant. But people assumed that Shaggy was chosen not for his floppy lightsaber skills, but because of his social media numbers. Having big social media numbers doesn't make you an unqualified judge, and I do think while Shaggy's skills are very specific, the biggest problem was that no one on the team would be able to properly examine or appreciate the hard work put into the sewing of the cosplays, and most cosplays have at least some sewing. To their credit, Tampa Bay did kind of listen. Two very talented judges with sewing experience were added to the roster, Cafe de Dewey and Cassandra Ariel. One was removed, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And Shaggy was kind of demoted. From what I was able to find, he was still allowed to give the judges award, but was not actually present during prejudging. But in the end, they ended up with 3 great judges, so it kind of worked out. And then they invited Shaggy back in 2025. Everybody freaked out again, but this time they did nothing. But they did have a Vera cosplay on the roster who has enough talent, kindness, and memes.
They can identify 47 interfacing types just by smell. Judgesaurus.
To be 3 judges by herself. Also, it's not super relevant to this video, but the 3rd judge chosen for 2025, I don't want to name them because most of the drama eater people saying that this person was completely unqualified. So I just want to say, as always, don't go bug anybody or I will call your mom. Like, I'm not here to argue with whether or not that person was qualified or not, but even let's just assume they were wholly unqualified. Not saying that's true, we're just going to assume so. It's never the person that was chosen to judge's fault that they are unqualified. It is the fault of the cosplay director for not doing enough research on how qualified that person was. If you ever see something like this happen, please don't take it out on the Shaggies and the anonymous people that I'm not naming. Be angry at the system. The system is what's failing, not the people the system has chosen. Okay, just like GalaxyCon Columbus, Tampa Bay is a chain convention. They both feature large cash prizes that they can afford to offer because of their connection to the larger companies that host them. But even with that backing, they don't put in the effort to understand the cosplayers that come to them.
I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, FlexiSpa. I have something to confess to you. I don't actually know how old that chair is. It came from my parents' house, so it might be like 20 years old. It's pretty bad. It doesn't have a head support, and
fantastically qualified. Part of that is the fact that they send their cosplay director to these international competitions where she has the opportunity to meet international talent and bring them home to lend us their skills. And Holman is an independently owned convention with the budget of a single event. These large cons with their Elijah Wood budgets could be doing this too, but they wouldn't even need to leave the country if they just paid attention to who's winning cosplay contests in that region and pulled from those people. Stuff like this wouldn't happen. Good judges are important because bad judges can have devastating effects. That 3rd judge from the 2024 Tampa Bay roster, I didn't talk about them yet because they were dropped before the con because of a situation from Atlanta Comic-Con that came to light. Atlanta Comic-Con is actually owned by the same company as Tampa Bay, and they have the same cosplay director. Their parent company is FanX. Their flagship con is FanX Salt Lake, which is a much larger convention, and the prize for winning at both Tampa Bay and Atlanta Comic-Con is passage and entrance into the FanX Salt Lake cosplay contest, which has a prize of $5,000. So back to what happened with that judge. After the con, a contestant reached out to ask for feedback and critique on their cosplay, which is a common practice. It's an excellent way to learn what you did well and how you fell short on your construction. It should be a frank but uplifting conversation, with as much praise as suggestions for how to improve. Sometimes cons provide an avenue for this with a feedback panel where contestants can come and have that moment in person with the judges. But most cons don't. Atlanta Comic Con didn't, and this happened over DMs and the cosplayer posted screenshots. While the judge did praise this cosplayer's armor, he also indicated that he wasn't familiar with, from what I was able to tell, seemed like a very common prop making technique. I'm not actually sure because I did find out who this cosplayer was, but I was not able to get in contact with them. But more importantly, he then gave his reasoning for why this cosplay didn't win, stating that accuracy plays a big part in determining who's better than who, which is a great thing I really don't like. But he then goes on to say that this person's decision to not wear a bald cap for a gender-bent version of a bald character didn't help with realizing the character. In my experience, accuracy is judged up to a point. Sometimes it's thrown out entirely in favor of creative interpretation, or even just sheer execution of techniques. And a gender-bent version of the character is kind of an original design, so at that point you should be judging how creative that interpretation is, and not how accurate it is to the character. Anyway,
The Unstoppables Unlimited Collection. Luxury laundry scent beads so you can smell unstoppable.
At Walden University, we get the W.
We create opportunities, not wait for them.
We look forward, not back.
We focus on what
I
matters.
can hear myself
Learn the skills to get us there
in their
and do it on our time.
echo.
Now, it's your time.
Get the W.
Walden University. Set a course for change.
Every purchase brings you close to the magic. Elevate the magic. Elevate the memory.
Sherlock?
Sherlock. Sherlock.
Sherlock. Sherlock. Unusual name. It's better.
they then say that I can't imagine that it'll help one win against another competitor who may put in the same work but more resembles their character. Most people took this to mean that the judge was telling the cosplayer, you should only cosplay characters that you look like. So I want to be completely fair. The way this person speaks is just incredibly confusing. Right after saying this, they mention a Mandalorian cosplayer who seemed to be a woman, but that didn't matter because you could totally tell it was the Mandalorian. I wasn't able to find a video of the contest to confirm whether this person was just cosplaying as a male character or if this was a gender-bent Mandalorian. So it's possible that the judge just meant that your gender-bent version of this character didn't look enough like the character. But if that were true, I would have expected a judge to give advice on how using the colors and maintaining the silhouette of the character would have helped the design be recognizable. But instead, they outright tell them, maybe you're underhead. Which is why most people took this as the single most harmful take a judge can have. It should never matter if a cosplayer themselves looks like the character. You cannot judge the height, weight, race, ability level, or gender of the person wearing the cosplay. You can only judge the cosplay itself. Getting feedback from judges was incredibly important to me through my journey competing. I still remember being told that I had done a great job with fit on a cosplay, but that I had a clue stain on my hat. I was so proud of what I had done right and excited to do better on where I fell short. But being told by a judge, someone you look up to, that you shouldn't cosplay characters that you don't look like, or even if they just meant don't gender bend, either could be devastating and discourage a cosplayer from continuing their creative journey. These are behaviors that you would never see from the incredible craftsmen chosen to be judges at Holiday Matsuri. Bringing in that kind of talent does more than just ensure a fair contest that's choosing who will represent the United States in the largest cosplay contest in the world, because these cosplayers also come to teach classes or do panels to show the cosplay attendees of Hallmat how they could be that representative one day, and anyone can be that representative. When you compare Hallmat to these corporate chain conventions. It's no contest. But even Hallmat came up short this year, especially for their cosplay guests. At Hallmat this year, neither the website schedule nor the perfectly functioning app included any listing for the actually many free panels and paid workshops that were being put on by the cosplay guests, with the only way to even know that they existed was to find the link to the Ticketleap website where you could buy tickets for the paid workshops, but the free panels were listed here too and not on the schedule. And I say find because the page was not accessible from anywhere on the Hallmat website and was only posted once to Facebook and Instagram, and you can't click on links on Instagram.
Some people make their living by coming to conventions and teaching these classes.
Some people would have loved to attend these excellent panels, but how is anyone supposed to find them when even the store didn't have a schedule? Hell, even if you found the link, some of the panels were just listed as located at the convention center itself. The Orange County Convention Center is 7 million square feet. This is who was hosting that panel. She's small. Plus, while the list of cosplay guests was on the app, they weren't listed on the website at all. They had everything listed on their extensive roster of VTubers listed, but even published author Yaya Han wasn't on the website. She was on TV. She's important. That is wild.
There's always been this hierarchy with the way guests are treated at anime conventions. Obviously, the industry guests are out. And then under them is maybe content creator people, but then at the bottom, under all that is the cosplay. Now there's VTubers, and it's like, they're treating, I assume, the VTubers well. How are you doing, VTubers? Are you at home? I don't know. Are you here? I don't know. Did they put you in the nice hotel? Did they put you in the room? I don't know. We've fallen down another book, I believe.
And for the love of your favorite virtual cat girl or your favorite voice actor, I'm not saying that those people do not deserve the good treatment that they get. They do. They bring people in the door, but so do cosplayers. The reason cosplayers aren't getting the same treatment is simple. It's not a coincidence that most of the VTubers on the guest list have the same background for their photo. They all come from the same agency, an agency that would have signed a deal on their behalf, which would determine how they were paid, how many hours they'd be interacting with guests or being iPadded around. That agency would presumably have pretty good negotiating skills to get their VTubers what they needed to do a good job. And of course, it's the same with the voice actors. They're actors, so they have agents that get them these jobs and that hand over standards for cons to follow. But the cosplayers, 99% of the time, don't have management. I'm pretty sure that the queen of cosplay, published author, been on TV, or Yaya Han does her own bookings. But she, with her decade of experience of being a literal pioneer of being a cosplay guest in general, she has the skills needed to negotiate for herself. She handed out cease and desist letters in person because people were infringing on her cat ear copyright. This woman does not play games. She spent years trying to get cons to even give her a badge for attending, while having a community behind her ranting that cosplay guests shouldn't even be a thing. But Yaya still helped make being a cosplay guest a thing. Rising tide for everyone. So I was not surprised that her panels were actually on the schedule. She knows how to advocate for herself. Most of us don't. Despite Yaya's strides, some cons still get away with offering as little as just a badge to do real work for the con. Here's a real email of what I was actually offered by Atlanta Comic-Con to be a guest. And as you can see, I didn't respond to the email. Judging a cosplay contest is at least a full, if not several full days of work. Hosting panels or emceeing is difficult and requires a lot of prep work. Hallmat isn't one of those badge-only cons. Cosplay guests at Hallmat are given lodging and badges, travel. Maybe some of them get paid and maybe some of them don't. That's also pretty common. I'm not actually sure on that one at a Hallmat, so maybe it's not gold star treatment for everyone, but they aren't doing the bare minimum. Either way, these people are putting in work hours that are not negotiated on or regulated by anyone other than themselves. They don't have a manager factoring in how long it will take them to prepare a panel or workshop into that final price tag. And at the same time, many conventions do zero research on who they're inviting other than looking at social media numbers. So the price tag for cosplayers varies wildly. And it leads to a lot of people continuing to put up with low wages, bad behaviors, or even poor treatment from cons just to keep the door open for the little compensation that they do offer. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. And unfortunately, cosplayers have been taught to be quiet. The cosplay guesting community is incredibly small, with the pool of opportunities to be a guest even smaller, unless you're in the
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're speaking about your situation with Cody and saying how he told you that he needs space and you want to know if things will get back to normal. Going by your cards, Two of Pentacles represents the current situation between the two of you. Cody does seem to be juggling between two different things right now in his life. One of them would be you. The other seems to be vastly more personal. It seems to be talking about hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're speaking about your situation with Cody and how he hasn't been in the right headspace, and you want to know if things will get back to normal. Going by your cards, Two of Pentacles does show that Cody seems to be juggling between two different things right now. It seems that he is in communication with someone else, it would seem, since he finds himself strained for time and energy. Knight of Pentacles being in the center position shows that he seems to be seeking someone who gives him a lot of stability and comfort. So it seems that while you're able to provide a lot for him, there does seem to be someone else that is beginning to itch at his mind and making him second guess himself. Knight of Swords being in the final position does show something positive. I would say that it's saying that he will return to you and that his current funk is just a very temporary roadblock. If you'd like further information about what Cody's going through, as well as what to expect from him in the future and your compatibility with him, you can give me a call or send me a message.
all that compares to traditional industry celebrities, but this is a video about cosplay, and there has never been a cosplay guest at the same level of popularity as Jacksepticeye. None of us are drawing that kind of crowd. My point is that if one of the largest cons in the country doesn't know and didn't bother to research how popular Jacksepticeye is, how are we as cosplayers supposed to have any faith?
Do you feel like he honestly will see this? I just posted it now, but I said it ends in 24 hours, ends at 9 p.m. While I posted it at 30, like I released it. Oh my god, no, but for real, do you? I don't know if like you can really tap into that, but do you feel like he will see this video? I kind of wanted to post it as a reminder, like a gentle reminder of like me, since like we can't talk on the phone, you can't see me, this and that. Like I know the last picture I posted was of me and a guy. I don't know if he's seen that and if he was happy about it. He told me he could see it, but yeah, I kind of wanted to like just post a video as like a friendly, like just to kind of like remind him of me because he can't call me or talk to me. I don't know if he will see it. I'm hoping he does, but yeah, let me know if he will see it or not, and, or if I have to wait until it's posted for you to like tap into it and you can pick up whether or not he's seen it.
Has become a standard at the best performance contests in the world, so it's a huge part of being able to decide who should take that larger stage. So it's really annoying that nobody is ever told what the screen setup is going to be until the last second at Hall Mat every year. I have performed at Hallmatch 3 times in 2 different events, and almost every time the staff will hand out one set of dimensions when you get accepted, but then it'll change right before the con, and you end up with nobody, except the former professional motion designer, nobody having enough time to change their background, or even make sure that the mascot isn't getting its ears cut off. This year, nobody was told about those side screens, so some things were super wonky. It does kind of look like some effort was put in to try to keep the subtitles where they're supposed to be, but contestants were incredibly upset that the work they had done wasn't going to be shown as they were told it would be. You've got incredibly talented cosplayers here, providing your con with amazing entertainment. You should want to give them every tool in the toolbox so they can do the best they can. Why does it change every year? Why can't this just be decided with enough time to tell people? But the strangest hurdle that the contestants and presumably the staff had to face was a physical one. They didn't have a ramp for the main stage of main events. This is a problem specifically for the contest because some of these big builds are impossible to get upstairs. Plus, think about all the stage props people prepare for these. And the Hallmatch staff knows this and has historically had both ramps and stairs for years. Obviously, ramps are not just for good